Boros Reckoners. He has the Charms, the Searing Spheres, the Think Twice, Pillar of Flame, 2 Supreme Verdict main deck, and 3 Sphinx's Revelation main deck.
I think Anthony has a really good matchup here because Geist State Trap is very difficult for Zach to handle. But we'll see what happens. Zach is on the play, leads off with the Steam Vent, and it looks like Anthony has a Silver Falls. So both players just starting off with some tap lands, and the real action doesn't really happen until turn 3 for the most part.
Exactly.
You know, sure, turn 2 somebody might play an Augur, but turn 3 is when Geist can come down, where Boros Reckoner come down.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely see what happens here.
And for that reason, winning the roll, very important, since no player has any counter magic, with the exception of Zach has a Rewind and a Counter Flux.
And Is a Charm could always be used as a somewhat of a negate.
Right, but no way to counter Geist or Boros Reckoner.
Anthony actually went to a SCG IQ last weekend where he made top 4 with this deck. So he's definitely really familiar with it, and he just slams out a Geist Saint Draft on turn 3.
Yeah, he knows that the blue-white-red decks nowadays play almost no counter spells, so he doesn't have to worry about much.
Yeah, you might see a Counter Flux here and there, maybe Dissipate, but not many counter spells to stop a Geist Saint Draft.
Exactly. Counters right now are just not that good in Standard.
Yeah, they're really not, especially with Cavern of Souls and just them being a bit too slow.
Yeah.
With no mana leak.
The important part is that they don't cost 2.
Yeah, exactly. The next best thing is just Is a Charm, I think.
And there we see Is it Charm in Zach's hand. Yes, Is it and Azorius Charm, but
doesn't do too much against the Geist Saint Draft.
No, Geist is just a house.
And I think Anthony has double Boros Charm in his hand, and he's already counting the damage. He's just like, all right, so it's a 2-turn clock, right? You know?
So in for 6, dead.
Yeah. So we'll see what Anthony does here. Just playing with Geist Saint Draft just gives you such a good advantage against any of the slow decks. Super tough to kill, and when you're backed up with Boros Charms or just some form of counters or whatnot, it really helps out. So there's a Snapcaster Mage just trying to get in the way of Geist Saint Draft, but I doubt it's going to do it.
No, it looks like Anthony's looking at the Azorius Charm.
Yeah, I think putting on top is fine here. I think playing a Boros Charm, giving his guys Indestructible is fine, but he's going to go with the Azorius Charm here. Let's see what Zach wants to do.
Interesting that he let him block.
All right, so Anthony actually is 4-0, and he got paired down because Zach is X0-1. So Zach is 3-0-1, Anthony is 4-0. All right, so Azorius Charm puts the Snapcaster Mage back on top of his deck, and Anthony's going to get in for 4 points of damage with the Angel. Now he's probably going to pass the turn and leave open up Boros Charm.
Right. So end of turn, Zach will cycle the Azorius, and Anthony trying to decide whether to fire off this Boros Charm right now is tapped out. He's not going to.
No, he's going to hold on to it because he wants to be able to give his Geist State Draft indestructibility, so he could avoid, losing to a Supreme Verdict here.
Right. Also, if he just starts firing off Boros Charms when Zach's at 16, it kind of raises some red flags.
Yeah.
He's going to play super defensively from there on out.
There's really no reason not to hold it. So Zach is just going to pass the turn once again.
Yep. Zach drawing 2 of his 3 counter spells.
All right, so now he's going to go for the Boros Charm. Let's see if Zach plays. Okay, so Rewind. All right, I think that's a fine trade there for Anthony. Anthony is still, in the driver's seat. Oh, he draws a Pillar of Flame.
So as you can see, Anthony Lowry, definitely the aggro deck. He has all the burn. His opponent has all the counters.
Yeah, so the judge just corrects him, says, hey, Silver Falls is going to come into play tapped.
Sure looks like it's untapped, but...
I'm sorry, he's going to come into play tapped, not untapped.
Right.
I apologize, yeah. All right, so Zach's going to drop a Snapcaster Mage. He's going to try to block the Geist, and he's targeting his Azorius Charm. And I think Anthony's going to play his own Snapcaster Mage here. And he's going to target his Azorius Charm.
So pretty interesting.
Now, they're going back and forth with some Snapcaster Mages, but meanwhile, Anthony just keeps cracking in for 4 with the Angel.
Exactly, and he has that Boros Charm in hand, so...
And that Boros Charm can just deal 4 damage at any point. So Azorius Charm is going to target the Angel, which is fine. And Anthony's going to put Snapcaster Mage back on top once again.
So basically that turn, nothing happened. They traded Snapcaster for Snapcaster, but now Zach gets to have his mana untapped on Anthony's turn. The Rewind really proved the difference maker there.
Yeah, but I think Anthony actually benefited here because the Azorius Charm is out of the graveyard. Anthony put down a Snapcaster Mage, and Zach just redrew the Snapcaster Mage,
right?
Which he's not really digging deeper into his deck.
Exactly, unless he could have slammed something like a Supreme Verdict there, which he doesn't have the mana for. It's good for Anthony.
Yeah, the reason why he doesn't have the mana, Supreme Verdict is white, white, blue.
Exactly.
So All right, so Snapcaster comes down once again, and I think Anthony here is just going to probably just save his Geist with the Boros Charm. I think that's probably the best line here.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Boros Charm does 4 damage, but if you save your Geist, it still does 4 damage next turn, and maybe even more.
Yeah, maybe even 6.
Yeah. Maybe even 8.
Really exciting. I like these types of matchups. Really back and forth. Each play matters a lot. You know, when you're watching Naya versus Esper, sometimes Naya player might, you know, make a few plays you don't agree with, but the game still goes on a long time. Here, it's really tempo oriented, back and forth, a lot of clashing.
Yeah, and every play is so important.
All right, so Boros Charm,
Indestructibility. Geist lives. Zach drops to 10. Now, I think most players just would have dropped their 10 damage of burn on the table and said, hey, I have 10 damage of burn, you're at 10.
All right,
but
he's starting. Pillar's going to the head here.
He realized that saving Geist is definitely the better play.
Yeah, and then he's going to pass a turn. And I think Zach's going to cycle this Izzet Charm. Because if he was going to use the Izzet Charm, he would have just, ooh. So
Boros Charm in response.
But why?
Yeah, I would have preferred it after Zach discards. Probably won't change anything, but...
No, I mean, I would have held it for Supreme Verdict.
Oh, for Supreme Verdict.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I feel that
makes way more sense.
I thought that was Anthony's like entire line, but... Yeah. All right, so Zach scoops it up.
So Zach can't punish him for it.
Yeah.
Anthony Lowry wins game 1 in about 7 minutes.
Did we miss some damage there?
I don't think so. He dropped to
Why
10
did he scoop so soon?
Well, he didn't draw anything off the Izzet Charm. He didn't draw a white mana or a Supreme Verdict, so...
But I mean,
he was just dead.
He still has his draw step, right?
Yeah, but he couldn't draw anything.
Yeah, all right, regardless, Anthony takes game 1 just pretty quickly, actually, within 7 minutes of the match. So Anthony's going to go to the sideboard as well as Zach. Anthony is going to board in, it looks like, probably a couple Blind Obediences. I think those are just really good, and I think it could easily be in the main deck. He probably also wants to bring in his counter fluxes just so he has access to some actual hard counter spells.
Especially on the play. Being on the play, being able to lay your 3rd lands to go, counter any potential Geist Descent traps is huge.
Yeah, well, I was referring to Anthony's deck.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But I still think Anthony's going to bring in the counter fluxes.
Right.
Even though he will be on the draw, I think they're definitely strong in this matchup. And he's probably going to bring in Sphinx of Revelations just because he thinks the matchup might go long. I don't think Thought Scour is very good in general right now. I don't think it really does that much. And I think in Anthony's matchup versus Zach, it's going to be even less relevant. So I can see him trimming a couple of Thought Scours and, you know, maybe even trimming a couple of Pillar Frames.
Yeah, the problem with cutting those Thought Scours and Pillars are that they're your Snapcaster mage fodder. You get to play 4 Snapcasters because you have so many cheap instants. So sure. he can't cut too many. Yeah. I could see him cutting a few.
Yeah, I would agree with you. The only thing is, though, Anthony does have 4 Boros Charms and 4 Searing Spears.
Yeah.
So I think Snapcaster wants to go get the burn anyway. You know, sure, it's fine to cycle with the Thought Scour, but getting the burn going to opponent's head, I think that's what Anthony wants to be doing.
Right.
What about Zach? What is he going to do?
With that? Well, he has a few different options available to him. He can go Super Control. He can board in the other Counterflux, Jace Memory Adept, Dispel, Negate, Terminus, Supreme Verdict. That's a package he could go for. Or what he could do, he could board in Geist of Saint Traft himself. Which, if it were me, I would probably board in all of the above. I would probably just completely transform my deck. I would board in all the removal, all the counters, all the Geists, and just, you know, try and transform into a true control deck, because you're not going to out-aggro Anthony.
Yeah, this matchup comes down to a lot, and the main thing it comes down to is Geist of Saint Traft.
Yes.
You know, who has Geist of Saint Traft advantage is most likely in the driver's seat. Sure, one opponent might have Aura Bolus to block, it's unlikely they'll have 2, and even if they do have 2, a Searing Spear might take it down. And you just saw that game that Geist of Saint Traft did a lot of work. Even though Anthony did a lot of damage with Boros Charms, a lot of damage with Searing Spears, it's still just Geist of Saint Traft.
Yeah,
I'm sure the dogs agree. If you guys hear some dogs in the background, they're just excited for Geist of Saint Traft. That's the main reason they're
dogs love Geist.
They do.
Yeah. And in case you were wondering, we did have a few questions about it on Twitter. We're sharing the convention center with a dog show.
Yeah. Normally it's like a cheerleading show.
Yeah.
It's so many Magic events. There's always just like some cheerleading competition, but this time the cheerleaders turn into dogs. Yeah. So.
You should see the dogs with the pom-poms. They're the weirdest.
Yeah, they really are. But this game should be exciting. Zach is going to be on the play, so... I mean, but Zach was on the play for game 1.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah,
Anthony just ran out of Geist in turn 3 and just rode it to victory.
Yeah, Zach didn't have the counter spell. He only, so in his main deck, he has 1 counter flux, 1 Is It Charm, and 1 Rewind. Those are the only counters.
Yeah, we're going to try to do a deck tech with Anthony. I'm not sure if we did one yet, but him being 4-0, especially if he wins this round, it's just a different take of the blue-white-red tempo type flash deck. It's just way more aggressive.
Yeah, no Thundermaw Hellkites. That card's fallen out of favor.
Yeah, Thundermaw Hellkite is definitely falling out of favor. It's just the format is too fast. I think once Dragon Maze comes back, the format will slow down again. But as you saw, Return to Ravnica was pretty much pure control for standard. Gate Crash seems to be pure aggressive, and I think Dragon Maze is kind of going to balance everything out. So this is unfortunate for Zach because he's mulliganing. I remember Zach actually already picked up a draw. So him losing here, falling into the 3-1 bracket, his back is against the wall. 3-1-1, he's going to have to 4-0 just to have a shot at top 8.
Yeah, definitely not where you want to be, but at the same time, 5 rounds into the tournament, if you're still alive for top 8,
yeah,
that's not so bad either.
And not only that, here at the SCG Opens, they pay down to top 64.
Right.
Yeah, so in a 321-man tournament, you have to come top 64. You only have to be in the top 20%.
Exactly. A lot of people drop too. So if you go 0-2, you're probably dropping to play in some side event.
Sure. Yeah. There's a 2-headed giant, starting
giant, EDH, anything. If you just play out all the rounds, there's a pretty good chance that you make money in this tournament.
Yeah, it's really good, and having a day of fun of Magic, get into try out your deck, competing against some of the best Magic players. I mean, we already saw Osip Lebedabis on screen. He won a Pro Tour, and he actually lost. So he's X-1. So just whoever beat Osip is like, hey, I just came to this SCG Open and I beat a Pro Tour champion. It's got to feel pretty good.
Oh, that was like 15 years ago. They don't even know that.
Yeah, but I think Osip reminds him. And plus, since I'm Osip's vice president of his fan club, I go around and I say, hey, this guy.
Oh, that's pretty good.
He won a Pro Tour. Yeah,
that's pretty good.
That's my only duty as vice president and knowing his shoe size.
Well, the pay must be pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
All of that. Yeah.
Osip gives me a couple of Chipotle dinners every once in a while.
Wow, so. Big timing with Osip.
Yep.
So,
meanwhile, with all our chit chatter, Zach mulligans again, and I mean Anthony has to be loving this. He's up a game. He definitely has a Geist Saint Draft in his hand. You can just tell how calm he is, and his opponent's mulliganing to 5 on the play.
Up a game, a great matchup. Opponent going to 5. Have to be comfortable if you're Anthony.
Yeah, I mean the blue-white-red flash tempo aggro deck, whatever you want to call it, does mulligan very well because of Snapcaster Mage, because of Augur Bolas, because of Restoration Angel, and because of Sphinx of Revelation. But still, mulliganing down to 5 is never really good.
No, it's not, but if any deck can come back from it, it's Zach's.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think about Sphinx's Revelation in this blue-white-red deck?
I mean, you know what? Sphinx of Revelation doesn't really shine that much in this deck, especially when you have a deck that's playing 24, 25 lands. Like we said, playing more lands the better. Playing a card like Farseek with Sphinx of Revelation is better as well. But it's still very powerful, and you still have to pretty much play Sphinx of Revelation in any blue-white-red tempo flash deck, either main deck or side.
Right. It's pretty interesting. Anthony's deck has 2 in the sideboard.
So Anthony led off paying 2 life for a Hollow Fountain. This most likely signifies that he wants to play a Turn 1 Thought Scour. And he's going to be targeting himself. He wants to fill up his graveyard, get some fuel for Snapcaster Mage, for Moreland Haunt and whatnot.
Oh, and draws a Geist. He mills a Geist, but
he draws a Geist, yeah.
Slayer's Stronghold drawn from Anthony Lowry, so that's kind of a big deal. That can threaten some real damage later in the game.
Yeah, that land is the best with Geist Saint Draft because in one turn you have 8 points of flash out of nowhere, exactly. 8 points of haste out of nowhere.
And it only takes 6 mana to do.
Yeah.
So Anthony's hand looks like he has a lot of lands in it. 4 lands, 2 blue cards, and a Geist.
Yep.
Zach's on the other hand, Supreme Verdict, Terminus, Rewind, Snapcaster.
Oh, there's a counterflux. So Anthony did board in the counterflux, just like I thought he would. And there's a Geist Saint Draft from Anthony, and he passes the turn.
And right now, if you're Zach,
he's going to have to 1-for-1 with a Supreme Verdict.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. He has Geist Saint Draft.
I was going to say, I'm not sure he has the white source.
Oh, he doesn't have the land at all.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. So Anthony has a chance to do whatever he wants. Since Zach is tapped out, doesn't have to worry about any type of counterspell, any type of flash creatures.
Yeah, if he can get down a threat right here, he's going to be in the driver's seat, as Zach is at the mercy of the top of his deck.
Even playing a Snapcaster Mage here, drawing a card, I think that's what's going to happen. I think Anthony's going to pass the turn, like he did. End of turn, he's going to play Snapcaster Mage, get his Thought Scour, draw another card.
Yep, and it's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, Zach off a double mulligan, I mean, I'm not surprised he's missing land drops.
Yeah, I mean, what can he do? He has a grip full of spells he had to keep, certainly. He had 2 lands.
And for those of you who asked about Osip's deck tech, he's actually doing one right now, so it should be up in about an hour or so. So look forward to that on Star City Games website.
Yep, we've also had a few people asking for an Anthony Lowry deck tech.
I wouldn't mind getting an Anthony Lowry deck tech as well.
Yeah, we'll try and get him behind the camera. You guys are working Ruben Bressler pretty hard, but
you really are.
That's what he's there for.
Yep. All right, Snapcaster Mage comes in for 2. Zach is just going to cycle and think twice here. I wouldn't mind him main phasing that think twice, just because he has a chance to like draw a land, maybe draw a Hollow Fountain. He doesn't want to pay 2 life next turn.
Right. I completely agree. He also had nothing to do with his mana.
Yeah. And Zach is just going to ship the turn back.
Wow, no 4th land still.
All right, and there's a Restoration Angel at the end of Zach's turn.
And I think Searing Spear is going to have to kill that Snapcaster Mage here just to stem the bleeding a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine just to pass a turn and see if he does anything, but yeah, taking out that Snapcaster Mage is probably what he's going to have to do.
Especially in conjunction with the Stronghold.
Yeah, Stronghold Slayer, really a good card. A lot of people don't play it. But this deck is definitely probably the perfect deck for it. The only thing it really does is mess up the mana a little bit with Counterflux or Boros Reckoner. Other than that, really powerful with Geist Saint Draft.
Yeah, worth 1 spot in the deck, no doubt.
All right, so Restoration Angel is attacking, although it's not tapped because of the Slayer Stronghold. It gives the guy +2/+0, it gives it Vigilance, and it gives it Haste.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's the white source. He'll be able to slam the Supreme Verdict.
And it's in the form of Clifftop Retreat, so he doesn't have to pay any life.
Unfortunately for Zach, though, Anthony Lowry ready with that Counterflux.
But Supreme Verdict cannot be countered.
Wow.
So it's crazy.
Good thing I know what cards do. So there it is. There's the verdict.
All right, and it turns Snapcaster Mage. He's going to resolve. Let's see what Anthony draws. Ooh, a Restoration Angel. Wow, that's a very good draw. And he has just enough mana to play the Angel. Oh, no, he should play the Angel, I believe. Oh, he doesn't do it.
Main phase Angel?
Yeah.
So he can Slayer Stronghold it, you mean?
Exactly. But instead he wants to hold up that Counterflux.
Right.
He wants to have the option. Hey, I can either play Restoration Angel at the end of the turn or a Counterflux. Fine play by Anthony. I think I would have been a little more greedy just because that extra 5 points of damage would have knocked Zach even lower.
I don't know. I think you have to put your opponent on another Supreme Verdict here just because he was so long without white mana. That's so risky.
Yeah. I guess I can see both players' hands, so. But I'm a risky type of player.
No gamble, no future.
Yeah. So what is Zach? Zach just passes the turn. Anthony with nothing here. I guess maybe he wants Restoration Angel with Counterflux backup.
Yeah, it looks like he just wants it for the value. That's such an awkward line, though, because then you can't activate Slayer Stronghold.
Yeah, I think Anthony just thinks that he's in the complete control of the game, and if he just like sits back, you know, Zach is just dead in a turn or two, essentially.
Right.
So now he pays 2 life, and main phase is a Snapcaster
I see what he's
Mage.
going for here.
He's giving it haste and vigilance, and then he's saying, hey, you know, do you want to drop the 1 life?
Coming in for 6. Pretty dangerous to drop to 1 against a deck with all that burn.
All right, there's a Snapcaster Mage, and I think Anthony's going to have to Counterflux it. The line that he took, he's going to have to Counterflux this.
Right.
Which is fine because he's still going to have Restoration Angel backup.
Yeah, Anthony, he played this game way different than I would have. I can't tell if it's right or wrong yet, but he has played the deck way more than I have. So
yeah,
I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on this one.
I honestly think he's playing too safe, which is a lot of players do. When your opponent's double mulligan, you tend to play really scared and really safe.
Right.
Yeah, I honestly would have Counterfluxed that Snapcaster Mage because now he just has to let the Azorius Charm resolve, obviously.
It's not all that bad, though. He gets the Snapcaster again. He gets to cast it for value. It still has Flash. He still has the Stronghold. And he still has Counterflux. So.
Yeah. All right, so it looks like Zach just drew another Searing Spear.
But really, all he needs are lands right now.
Yeah, I kind of wants to draw him some more lands. Maybe draw like a Sphinx of Revelation after drawing more lands.
Yeah. That's his way back into the game. He needs to go removal spell, Sphinxes.
So Anthony draws a Snapcaster Mage that was put on top with the Azorius Charm last turn. So now I think Anthony's line of play is probably just pay 2 life off the Hollow Fountain. Let's see if he does that or not. He does do that, okay. So he's with me so far, and then pass the turn. I kind of like this play. He has Counterflux, he has Snapcaster, he has Resto. So now you want to Counterflux this Restoration Angel.
Do you have to?
I mean, I think it's perfect because he paid the 2 life. He wants to be able to have enough mana to do everything he needs, and he does here.
Yeah, and you know that Zach's not going to play anything on his own turn. So.
Or most likely not, yeah.
Probably not.
Okay. So Counterflux stops the Restoration Angel.
Yep, and so he decides not to play out his creatures, which I like because
definitely.
You know that Zach probably has 4 Supreme Verdict after board.
Yeah, there's a good chance. Yeah. And once you have so much more mana advantage, you have the life advantage, and you have the Stronghold Slayer, it's fine to kind of sit back and do everything on your opponent's turn. All right, so Zach just passes back, and there's a Snapcaster Mage. Working on his mana tap, yeah. I think tapping the Sacred Foundry is fine here. Actually, just tapping the Stronghold Slayer is probably the best to tap, just because it produces a colorless.
Yeah, you're not going to use it on your turn.
Exactly. All right, so Anthony untaps, draws. Oh, a Searing Spear.
That's a
very
great
good draw. Yeah, it really is. So right now, if I was Anthony, I would just attack with a Snapcaster Mage, and I would just pass. I wouldn't even use a Stronghold Slayer. All right, but instead he wants to.
Well, he figures if he can get his opponent to 2, his opponent is dead. But
yeah, I understand.
There's Azorius Charm.
Yeah, but now the whole thing is that Anthony wants to go. If he had extra mana, he could have went Searing Spear in response. In response, Restoration Angel out my Snapcaster Mage, Searing Spear you again.
That still opens you up to a Supreme Verdict, though, and I think he's played this entire game trying to not do that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess bringing down Zach to 1 is not that relevant.
Right.
But it's just another line of play here.
Oh wow, Zach going with the Searing Spear to the Dome, it looks like.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of an odd line here.
Well, Anthony's taken so much damage off his lands that now he'll be at 9. That's only 3 Searing Spears away.
I don't know if you saw that, but they both just like literally Searing Speared each other. They're both on the stack at the same time.
It was kind of consensual. It was just like, all right, well, let's get this out of the way.
You're doing it, I'm doing it, why not? Yeah, I think Anthony didn't need to use that Stronghold Slayer last turn.
Yeah. Zach's probably going to Azorius Charm or Searing Spirit no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Ooh, this is dangerous. Augur Bolus misses. And does Zach have anything left?
He has a Rewind. If he has
can't
another
cast
land.
it.
No, he can't.
I think that's game. Yeah, there's a Restoration Angel. And all Anthony has to do is activate that Stronghold Slayer this time, and the game is his.
Yeah, he can't do anything. He has Rewind, he has Searing Spear, he has Negate. None of these do anything.
Yeah,
all just a little too little.
Yeah, and the other card is a Terminus as well in his hand, which is not going to do anything. So Anthony replays the Snapcaster Mage once again. And I mean, this is just game here. We'll see what happens, but it looks like as long as Anthony activates that Stronghold Slayer, doesn't tap too much mana where he can't activate it, it looks like he's going to take this match and move on to 5-0.
Yeah, and Anthony playing safe, using the Searing Spear on the Augur, so...
Yeah, but I think Anthony... There's Negate?
Yep, Negate.
Why would he negate it?
It doesn't matter.
No, it actually did matter a lot. Because watch, Anthony played the Snapcaster Mage, and it kind of looked like there was a chance that Anthony would have used Stronghold or Slayer on the Snapcaster